Ahead of a much-anticipated Supreme Court ruling on a Catholic adoption agency, donors are pouring millions of dollars to groups that oppose broad religious freedom protections. The move comes as the nation's highest court considers whether local anti-discrimination ordinances can effectively close Catholic adoption agencies. And for more on this story, including a look at the amount of money being contributed to anti-religious freedom groups, visit our partners at CatholicNewsAgency.com. Well, as we reported earlier, today is the opening of the USCCB General Assembly, and tomorrow is expected to be the much-anticipated debate on the importance of the Eucharist. Joining us now for analysis is Dr. Matthew Bunson, Executive Editor and Washington Bureau Chief for EWTN News. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us. Always great to be with you. First off, your impressions of opening day.
Well, we had been heading into this meeting of the bishops, a virtual meeting, of course, with the question of how the bishops are going to grapple with the question of Eucharistic coherence, Eucharistic consistency. There has been for months a debate among many of the bishops, including a faction of the bishops who are really apparently opposed to any discussion of this. And we were wondering whether this is going to play out and how dramatically at this meeting. Well, after the first day, we can see very dramatically. It took them an hour, essentially, today, simply to get the agenda approved for the discussions at this meeting. There was a parliamentary effort to block, basically, the discussion by trying to open up everything to every bishop weighing in on the question of the Eucharist before they have any other further discussion on this question of, are we going to have a draft document approved to be written? So the complications that we saw playing out today, I think, are giving us a very good sense that this is going to be a rough couple of days with potentially a lot more fireworks to come.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, how do you think that is going to affect the next couple of days, and do you think anything will really be accomplished?
Oh, I think Archbishop Gomez, the president of the USCCB, had a game plan going in. It was very clear. He, for example, quoted a letter from Archbishop Augustin de Noia, an official of the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith, saying essentially that we are looking forward to previewing and reviewing the document that is eventually going to be drafted by the conference. So we have that sort of a green light from the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith for the bishops to move forward with this. And as we saw, the motions to try to delay a discussion were defeated. So the debate will go on tomorrow as expected, but unfortunately it's also creating an atmosphere, I think, of at least apparent disunity among the bishops, and is likely to overshadow some of the other more important discussions, or equally important discussions, that the bishops are going to try to grapple with over the next few days.
Yeah, and the discussion, of course, on the importance of the Eucharist supposing to take place tomorrow. Talk about the timing of that and why the debate is happening and why you think it's important.
Well, the debate is happening for two reasons. We have a Catholic president in President Joe Biden, who announces that he is a devout Catholic, but who is also clearly and openly and obdurately and obstinately dissenting from church teaching on a number of important areas, the most important of which, the preeminent one, is on abortion. So the bishops recognize that this is a crisis for American Catholicism that has to be remedied, it has to be looked at. And so they're trying to create a document on Eucharistic coherence and consistency. There's no vote intended to deny Joe Biden the Eucharist. But at the same time, the bishops also recognize the need to deal with the fact that 50% of Catholics today do not believe in the real presence of the Eucharist. This is a challenge for us, as we discovered in our own EWTN Real Clear Opinion research poll last year. This is a catechetical crisis for us as well. The two are connected, but the bishops also know that this is a program of Eucharistic revival that we need to have.
And how do you see this playing out?
Well, I think the debates are going to go forward, and we'll know a lot more tomorrow in terms of the tenor of the debate surrounding the proposal to approve the drafting of a document. Let's remember what we're actually talking about here. I look forward to the presentation from Bishop Kevin Rhodes, who's the head of the Doctrine Committee. I think he has a very clear idea of what this document needs to be and what it really is in terms of Eucharistic coherence, Eucharistic consistency.
And Matthew, before I let you go, what else do you have your eye on when it comes to the meetings?
Well, there are a couple of important items. One is a pastoral framework for family life. The other is a similar pastoral framework for youth ministry. community. But then there's also going to be the discussion about a statement and a vision document for evangelization and ministry to Native Americans, given some of the recent news that we saw coming out of Canada and the long-standing challenges of really helping to provide ministry and pastoral care for Native Americans. I think this is going to be an important watershed moment, and I hope it's not overshadowed too greatly by what we saw today.
And any last thoughts?
Yeah, I think let's keep praying for our bishops. They have a rough job as it is. And at this moment, I think coming together in this moment to deal with the question of the Eucharist is something that all of us need to be praying on, but all of us need also to be aware of the Eucharist in our own lives and to make ourselves worthy to receive the sacrament, which goes to the very heart, I think, of some of this discussion.
Well, Dr. Bunson, thank you so much for weighing in for us. We always appreciate your analysis.
Good to be with you.